honestly has been a very rewarding experience for me. It really has. I've got to use my background training, what have you, got my creative juices turning, and you really become attached emotionally to these children.
They're from New York City and Buffalo and Syracuse, Rochester, all the cities around New York State, and we found something common with all of them. It didn't matter if one was a cowboy or one was hip hop, or there's some commonalities in the children, and that's that they're children.
I just pulled it up. I've never heard about CASA before in my life. And I just pulled it up and I opened it up and said, hey, let me even look at the details of this. And looking at it, understanding what CASA was about the kids. It was about giving them a better life. That's really struck a chord to me.
You know, I'm a little old to be adopting a kid, youth in any way, but I would love to be able to give back to the youth, you know, do something positive, and in particular for some of these youth who are on their own, who don't have anyone, you know, and CASA is frequently now the only constant in some of these cases where the attorneys keep changing, the caseworkers change, but we kind of stay, you know, stay constant.
CASA seemed like an opportunity to really make kind of a sustained impact. I mean, obviously the work we do here isn't quick fix type of work. So it requires time and patience, commitment. But I think that's what makes it challenging and ultimately very rewarding.
I was a lawyer for almost 30 years, in-house corporate lawyer. And a few years ago, I decided it was time to make a change. And at the same time, I had a personal experience where I had sort of seen how helpless children are without having a full support system behind them.
This one wrote us a letter, and she just said that she didn't know what family was. She thought family was chaos and family was abuse, yelling, fighting. I just saw that there was a need for somebody to step in and advocate for a child. And I really didn't know what I was getting into. But I knew that it had to make a difference.
It's a blessing to, you know, to be part of it. It's a blessing to, you know, be a change.
I know that behind the scenes, I'm helping to push things along by working with the case planners or just, you know, helping the CASA staff write the report or whatever needs to be done to allow these little children to be moved to a place where they can be, you know, safe.
When we talk about CASA, we're not talking about a 40-hour job unless you make it a 40-hour job. But there is a time commitment, but it's doable. It's something that you can do.
There is so much at stake. And there are so many parties involved, and it can get so complicated. So I think, you know, part of the value we bring is that stability and just being there to help them through what can be I'm sure, a very confusing and complex system. And I'm sure for a kid going through it, it's going to be challenging. So, you know, we're going to go through it together. Okay.
I would recommend it to anyone who's retired, who's looking for something to give back. It's really satisfying to see some of the youth be in a better position with your help. You're doing something really positive.
You know, it adds value. It makes it not just a business. You understand that it is people's lives.
I did have a case that involved a teenager who had lost his mother and to COVID, which was really unfortunate. And this child needed help obtaining various benefits and things like that. And even if it's behind the scenes, you actually are making, and even if it's a small difference, you're making a difference, you know, and you really are pushing something forward, and it can be frustrating sometimes, you know, because bureaucracy is bureaucracy, but to feel like you can push something a little bit forward, actually, you might not see it, but it is making a difference in somebody's life. Even if it's this small a difference, it's making a difference.
I enjoyed my input as far as their educational programs went, and also in court.
Think of the difference that you make in a few hours invested in a child's life. Are you kidding me? Is it not worth the time?
And I see all the statistics. It just tells you, hey, you could be valuable in a kid's life, and you might be that game a changer. That's that change for them. Again, it's not about saving the world. It's about saving one life. If you save one life, you don't know what the ripple effects will be.
I don't think gender matters in this particular situation at all. You could be a man or a woman or, non-binary, and it doesn't really matter. I think just you care. I think that's the prerequisite, is that you care and you want to make a difference in somebody's life. So I'm in for as long as they want me. I say that now, but yeah, I'm in as long as they want me.
But at the end of the day, when we look back at our life, is there anything that we did that made a difference for somebody else? Maybe somebody a little bit less fortunate. Don't be ashamed. Don't be afraid. Step up, love them, and get involved. Yeah, very important.